What's my favorite Bill Ackman stock to buy for March? I'm going to tell you that in this video. I'm also going to look at 5 different metrics that support my reasoning for why this is my favorite Bill Ackman stock to buy in March. So let's get right into it. So Bill Ackman, Pershing Square Capital Management, he runs a portfolio worth over $8.7 billion, and he owns just 6 stocks in his portfolio: Lowe's, QSR, CMG, Hilton Worldwide, Howard Hughes Corporation, and Canadian Pacific Railway. Out of these 6 stocks, Hilton Worldwide Holdings is my favorite stock to buy for March, and I'm going to show you why it's my favorite stock to buy right now, so stay tuned. So, firstly, I have here pulled up Hilton's revenue growth over the last several years, going back to 2014. And 2 things jump straight out at me is the crash in 2020. Of course, during the earlier stages of the pandemic, one of the things that suffered the most was travel, right? According to Statista, travel spending collapsed from 1.5 trillion in 2019 all the way down to 610 billion in 2020. So a nearly $1 trillion decrease in spending on hotels and resorts worldwide. And of course, Hilton Worldwide suffered as a result of that revenue falling almost 80% in a couple of quarters there. So the opposite of that is now helping Hilton Worldwide. As economies have reopened, folks have all this pent up demand for travel because they delayed a lot of trips during the earlier stages of the pandemic. So now they're making up for that. Travel spending rebounded from 610 billion to 900 billion in 2021. So from 2020 to 2021, it rebounded by about 300 billion. From 2021 to 2022, it rebounded another 200 billion. So we went up to 1.1 trillion in 2022. So in 2023, forecasts are for another several $100 billion increase in hotel and travel spending worldwide. And so Hilton is going to benefit from that trend. And what I've noticed and what I'm seeing from the rebound in travel is that it's like a light dimmer slowly increasing up. It wasn't like the quick V-shaped recovery that some people were expecting, where it was quickly going to bounce back from the decrease. Remember, I said it fell to 600 billion. Some people thought that it was going to bounce back right back up to 1.5 trillion in 1 year. That's not what's happening. Instead, what's happening is a slow recovery back up to those levels. So from 600 billion to 900 billion, from 900 billion to 1.1 trillion, and this year it's expected to go up another couple hundred billion. So this recovery is going to be prolonged over several years, but undoubtedly it seems like it's going to recover higher than the 1.5 trillion it was at 2019. Higher than what it was at 2019. Why do I say higher? Because the same amount of trips are going to lead to a nearly 15 to 25% more in spending because of inflation. Room rates across the board, across the industry, are higher by at least double digits across all of the travel companies that I follow. So if you're traveling the same amount that you were traveling in 2019, you're probably going to be paying anywhere between 15 to 25% more for the trip. And so Hilton Worldwide is going to benefit from the return of folks traveling to the quantity, and then the total spending is going to be higher because the average room rates are much higher, right? By 15 to 25%. So, and this is not going to be just a 1 year thing where it's like, okay, it's going to recover in 2022 and that's it. No, this is, I don't expect the full recovery to happen until about 2025, where overall spending eclipses where it was before the outbreak. So that's a several years long tailwind that Hilton Worldwide has. And that's not yet fully reflected in what people are expecting from this stock. So I can see why Bill Ackman likes it, and this is that's partly explains why it's one of my favorite Bill Ackman stocks. Another reason why I'm liking this is look at the operating profit margin over the trailing 12 months here. Even before the outbreak, you can see it was steadily increasing its operating profit margin, and the operating margin was at a nice level, consistently above 10%, approaching 20% even before the outbreak. So the outbreak, of course, it collapsed as revenue collapsed, but then it's recovered, and its operating profit margin is well above, nearly twice the level it was at before the outbreak, at 23.87%. This is partly due to the fact that they were able to put in a lot of price increases, right? So they're operating at a much more profitable level than they were before the outbreak, and now they're recovering the amount of people that are coming. It's slowly recovering to where it was before the outbreak. Diluted earnings per share over the trailing 12 months. Again, it was nice even before the outbreak and then the crash, but now look at that. Diluted earnings per share of $4.52 is higher than it ever was. Meanwhile, the travel recovery is still not complete. So imagine where earnings per share could get to once it returns to the pre-pandemic level of travel spending for consumers. And then cash flow from operations, again, it was very solid even before the outbreak at roughly 15%. And now cash flow from operations is recovering almost straight upward at 19.16%, and this is likely to continue moving higher as this rebound continues over the next couple of years. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. And finally, the stock is not very expensive, right? You might think like, oh, it's got these excellent prospects for the next couple of years. Obviously, the stock is going to be extremely expensive. That's not the case. The stock is trading at a forward price to earnings ratio of 25.49, which is near the lower end of where this has traded for going back in the last year. You look at that, it's on the downward and it's trading at 25.49. So this is why this Bill Ackman stock is my favorite out of his 6 stocks to buy. This one, Hilton Worldwide, is my favorite Bill Ackman stock to buy in March. Now, if you're looking for more stocks to buy, I've created a top 20 list of stocks to buy for 2023. I'm going to link that in this video at the end. It's going to be either right here or right here. So click on that if you want a bigger list of stocks to buy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you over there.